Welcome back to the Gadget Lab. I am Michael Calori.
And I'm Matt Honan.
And Matt, I couldn't help but noticing that strange and unusual tablet-like thing you have sitting in front of you.
Looks like a tablet. Not quite a tablet, but yeah, this is the Microsoft Surface. What is it?
The Microsoft Surface with Windows 8 Pro.
That's right. Yeah, that's the Microsoft Surface with Windows 8 Pro, or as everyone who has any basic human dignity calls it, the Surface Pro.
Yeah. So that's the Surface Pro. This is the Surface or the Surface RT. This is the one that came out in October.
Yeah, and so this is a little bit different, or actually a lot different. This runs a full version of Windows 8, whereas that runs basically a stripped-down version of the operating system.
Okay.
This also has an Intel Core i5 processor, and it looks like a tablet, but this is really a full-fledged laptop with a tablet form factor.
I see. So this is really closer to a tablet than anything else, right? It's priced like a tablet. It's like $500.
This is what we think of as a tablet. This is a mobile device. It's more portable. You can use it in basically any situation you use a tablet in. This is a little bit larger. It actually has a fan to cool off that processor. Okay. It's a little bit heavier, and it's considerably more expensive.
And how expensive is it?
It's $900 for the 64 gigabyte model and $1,000 for the 128 gigabyte model. Plus, you need to buy a keyboard for it, and if you want one, which you probably do.
Yeah, and the nice keyboard is like $130.
Yeah, that's right.
And then that's the one with actual physical keys. The one without the physical keys is $120. So definitely recommend spending the extra $10 on the physical keys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not much thicker. If you look at the two keyboards side by side, you can hardly tell a difference, but you can tell a huge difference in your typing.
Okay. It performs about as well as a comparatively priced laptop. Yeah. Is that safe to say?
That's safe to say. That's fair to say. And so like all your Windows 7 apps will run on this one. They won't on this one. This only runs so-called Windows Store apps. Apps that you buy through the Windows Store. You can download whatever you want off the internet here and install it, and it should work. If you've got a lot of applications that you want, Windows applications that you want to run on a portable, this is definitely the better bet for you.
It is usable as a tablet. It has a very nice sharp screen, I've found. I think it's very sharp. It's not quite Retina, so it's not quite as sharp or as pleasant of an experience reading it as a book, as a tablet, as the iPad is. But it is better than the Surface RT. And it is better than most laptops that we've seen with touchscreens.
I mean, totally. This is definitely kind of a tablet. I mean, it's the thing that makes it sort of not a tablet is this vent that goes around when the fan comes out. Alexandra found in her testing that this could get kind of hot and uncomfortable if she was holding it for extended periods like a tablet. But if you're using it short term like a tablet, I mean, it's you're not going to be able to tell a whole lot of difference.
Yeah. And it does come with a fancy little stylus.
It does. This pen actually works really well in various pressure points.
Yeah, pressure sensitive. It supports 10-point multi-touch, so it is. We keep saying this because a lot of people, it's such a weird device where it looks like a tablet, and Microsoft makes something that looks almost exactly like it that is also a tablet, but this is a full Windows 8 computer. And if you're laying out over $1,100 on it, which is what it would cost you if you get the type cover and the 128 gigabyte version, which we definitely recommend. You should always get as much storage as you can in these devices that you can't upgrade.
Especially with this one, because it eats up a lot of the storage, just the operating system. There are, I think, 23 gigabytes available on the smaller one free, and 83 on the larger one free. So you're going to, we say 64 and 128, but a big chunk of that is going to be eaten up by just the operating system.
Yeah, and it is expandable. It has a USB port, and it has a micro SD card slot in it, so you can add expansion cards to it if you want to. Anyway, it is available now, this weekend, in stores for the first time, so you can go try it out at one of Microsoft stores or one of their retail partners.
I think they have them in the airport even.
Really? The kiosk?
Yeah, they've got airport. Are you flying somewhere?
No. Not physically. You're going to be flying?
Not this weekend.
Okay.
Next, yeah.
So that's a good impulse buy. Maybe pick up like some granola bars, a couple of pairs of like cheap headphones, and a
bottled water. You have to get that past security.
Yeah, right.
Not if you get it before, they'll make you throw it away.
If you take this through security, what are they going to tell you?
I don't know if they'll make you pull it out or not. I mean, you don't have to pull the iPad. I would assume you don't have to pull this one out, but would have to pull this one out. But I may be wrong.
Well, I mean, technically it's, the same thing, right? There's no moving parts. There's no hard drive.
Right. True.
All right. Well, so report back to us. Tell us what TSA tells you about your Surface with Windows 8 Pro.
Professional.
All right. Robbie's here.
Hi.
And he's brought with him
The new Blackberry Z10 smartphone.
And apparently you've also brought your jackhammer.
Yeah, my jackhammer team's outside digging holes for gold. We're digging for gold.
You can probably hear it over our microphones, but the whole room is vibrating right now. So I'm just going to assume that the reason it's vibrating is not because of the jackhammer, but because you have the Blackberry sitting on it.
I do. I have the Blackberry Z10. This is, it's running Blackberry 10, which is Blackberry. It used to be called RIM, so now I got to say Blackberry like 30 times in a row. This is kind of their saving grace. They fell behind the iPhone, Android, even Windows Phone, if you can believe that.
I can't believe it.
Now they're coming back. They have the Z10. It took them a year to get this thing out, and they better hope people are buying it. It's actually a pretty good phone. The hardware is solid. It doesn't feel cheap, so it has that going for it.
So it's mostly metal?
It has a nice textured back. It's kind of like a rubberized feel, so it doesn't slip from your hand when you're running from one meeting to another, which is kind of BlackBerry's core audience, is the businessman and the businesswoman running, doing business.
Didn't the business persons all go out and buy iPhones in the 4 years they've been waiting for this damn thing to come out?
A lot of them did, and so that's why this phone and this operating system are so important for the company. If they can't get those business folks back, or at least stop the bleeding, that the company's in huge trouble. And it is, like I said, it's a nice phone. The operating system is really nice. It's closer to Android and iPhone than, let's say, the Windows Phone, but it has its own little features. It has the hub. It has balance that allows you to have your business and your personal OS. It's like separate accounts. So the OS is nice. It's
works with Exchange.
Works with Exchange. Works with ActiveSync.
So basically, it's everything you'd expect.
Yeah, it's everything you expect,
from
and a good phone. It's the best phone they've ever made, as far as I'm concerned. But there's also the app issue, and they have more apps than Microsoft Windows, the Windows Phone. But who cares? Right. It's nowhere near iPhone or Android, and some of the big apps that they talked about not Instagram, like Rdio. They don't have Instagram. That's a big bummer. But they were going to have Rdio and Kindle and some EA games, but Rdio and Kindle aren't on here yet.
I guess the argument is that it's not going to make a big difference in the business world, right? If it doesn't have the things like Rdio and it doesn't have Instagram. Mm-hmm. But also, people are going to want to carry this around. They're not going to want to carry around something else that has that stuff on it.
Exactly. Yeah, so, and that's the deal. I know a lot of people who are hardcore BlackBerry users who finally switched to the iPhone, to Android, because their friends had Instagram and their friends had all these little apps that BlackBerry didn't have. And BlackBerry's really trying to get those developers to create stuff for them. They've been knocking on doors. They've been hassling like big name developers, everybody just makes stuff. They've gone all out trying to get developers for this. So they're really trying. The thing is it going to pay off? And the biggest issue right now for me, especially in the US market, is that this phone, the Z10, their touchscreen, won't launch until March, probably even late March, which is 2 months after their event. The Q10, which is their touch, the QWERTY keyboard. Yeah, it's like the BlackBerry Bold, but with a BlackBerry 10 on it. It won't launch until probably May, and maybe even late May, which is like another 5 months. So
for me, that's the big thing. Like everybody I know who still has a BlackBerry and insists on carrying their old BlackBerry says the same thing, which is, well, I have to have the keyboard. And BlackBerry has a really nice keyboard, to which I say, it's 2013, get over the damn physical keyboard. Oh, I hate physical keyboards, sorry. But I really do say that to them. But, are those people going to be won over by the new BlackBerry if it's just sort of like the same thing?
If you're a hardcore BlackBerry user, you're going to be happy with this. Okay. Because it's going to do all the things. If you want that keyboard, you're going to have to wait until May. A lot of those people are getting their BlackBerries from their companies, so they're it might not even be up until May. So they're waiting for their company to do. Yeah, they'll be getting in November. They might be getting in the summer. So the priority for BlackBerry was to get this thing out for the regular consumer and business users who have already switched over from the physical keyboard.
Speaking of which, how much and on what carriers?
Verizon, yes. There's the delay is because of the carriers. There's no pricing, there's no availability, and that is going to kill them. It's doing according to BlackBerry, it's $200, $300, probably 2-year contract, right around the average smartphone. It's not it's not going to be crazy expensive, but it's not going to be like a $99 phone. But without numbers and dates, and without that, it's a hard sell for the consumer, especially in a quickly moving. The smartphone market is just flying all the time.
Yeah, June's phones are better than January's phones.
Yeah, February's phones.
Big question mark on the BlackBerry Z10 for now. Robbie, you're going to have a full review of that up within the next week or two on Wired, so you can look forward to that. We'll have some more video with your final impressions after you've had a chance to spend some time with it. And we should mention this was announced last week, but you were traveling.
I'm sorry, I wasn't here last week. I missed the show.
So that's why you're hearing about it now. But it is so far so good, but still, who knows what lies at the end of the tunnel. We do know what lies next week, which is us. Again, we'll be back next week with more lies and truth and gadgets and all sorts of other things from the Gadget Lab.
Bye.